are the advertisements from local businesses as well, and we thank them for their support. In addition, that's not all in this handy book. There is a directory of members of Ner Tamid, and not only that, but there is a directory of the Montessori school as well. So we're pleased to bring both of those institutions together in this booklet. There are a lot of people to thank for the work that went on here tonight. And I want to start off with thanking Barry List, the president of Ner Tamid, and I will act as your mistress of ceremonies to make sure things move along. But I think the microphone is off. Okay, how's that? How's that in the back? Okay, great. Acoustics can always be a little bit of a problem here. But with that, I'm going to turn it over to Barry List. There is one reminder, a little bit of housekeeping rules. Remember, since it's not a Shabbos, probably everybody's got their electronics on them, their electronica with them. Do take a moment now to turn off all the beeping, all the songs, all the cameras, all the whatever, except for our official work. So,
Rabbi Motzen, we call on you to lead us in the national anthem and Hatikva.
Oh,
esteemed rabbis, Rabbi Motzen, board members, Balabatim, friends from sister shuls, Baltimore and beyond, Rabbi Motzen. Let me start off by saying I have some good news and some bad news. The good news is that this event is not only sold out, but it has a waiting list and is close to what they call in the theater standing room only. The bad news is that we're not letting anyone leave until after Ne'ilah. We want to make sure we have minyan frequently. But seriously, this is a very special night for Ner Tamid congregation, and I want to thank all of you for joining us. It's great to see such a fantastic turnout, and your presence speaks loudly to the strengthening of our shul and the role that Rabbi Motzen has played in it. Over the course of the evening, you'll be hearing from rabbis who made an important contribution to the shul and Orthodox Jewish Baltimore. Rabbi Landau's presence here tonight speaks to the shalshelet, the chain and continuity that bode so well for Ner Tamid. We're grateful that Rabbi Neuberger, the guiding force in Ner Israel and an important influence in the education of Rabbi Motzen, could come to us with Divrei Torah for this special occasion in the shul's history. Rabbi Koshkeman, who leads the Sephardi minyan at Ner Tamid, and Rabbi Hauer, who guided Rabbi Motzen during an important internship at Shari Zion, will speak during the dinner itself. The arrival of a new rabbi is a family affair, and we persuaded Hindi to say a few words. People throughout the U.S. and Israel are fans of Chazan Motzen and Rabbi Shur, so it's our good fortune that the rabbi's father and father-in-law are not only attending the ceremony, but performing as well. Another thing that will happen from the podium will be a formal installation ceremony by our executive director. Let me take a moment to bring you greetings from two people who are a force in our city and state. Governor Martin O'Malley and Mayor Stephanie Rawlings-Blake send words of encouragement and congratulations. You'll find a letter from the governor in tonight's program book, and hot off the presses, the mayor's office sent a certificate of recognition to tonight's event that arrived just on Erev Shabbos, and let me read the text to you. Quote, on behalf of the citizens of Baltimore, I'm pleased to present the certificate to Rabbi Yisrael Motzen in recognition of your installation as the third spiritual leader of Ner Tamid Greenspring Valley Synagogue. We honor you for your commitment to the spiritual enrichment of our citizens. Wherefore, I have signed and issued this certificate in appreciation of your efforts within the Jewish community and in celebration of the continued growth of your congregation. That's signed Stephanie Rawlings-Blake, Mayor, and I'll present both of these letters to Rabbi Motzen at the conclusion of my brief words. Thanks to our past president, Dr. Phil Cullen, for contacting the mayor and governor's office. A program like tonight's installation takes a lot of hard work, so I hope you'll join me in thanking those who worked long hours to make tonight's program possible. You'll find what I hope is a complete list of those who contributed in the program book that you have in front of you, but I do want to mention by name the members of the installation committee itself. They're Shari Bloom, Sarah Meister, Bill Heyman, and the chair of the committee and our shul, Dr. Suzanne Kielsen, and please join me in giving them our thanks. Ner Tamid began as the seminal synagogue in this section of Baltimore in the late 1950s and early 1960s. In many ways, we've maintained a strong sense of continuity. I think that if Rip Van Winkle or his Jewish cousin Choni Hamagel had fallen asleep 50 years ago and woken up today, he'd find many things the same. He might ask me, isn't the rabbi and Ner Israel guy a Canadian? I say, yeah. Does Max Jacobs still run the shul? Ludan? And I remember there was this young guy who would grab you by the lapel and tell you something absolutely essential to the shul. I think his name was Greenberg. That's David Greenfeld, and thank goodness, thank God he's here with us tonight and continues to contribute to the synagogue. Then he'd ask me, is the shul still modern Orthodox? And I'd say, yes, indeed. Now, I have to tell you, everybody has their own definition of what defines modern Orthodoxy. I'm a YU graduate, and I grew up with the Torah Umada definition that I would hear from people like my Gemara Rebbe, Rabbi Riskin, and of course the Rav Yosef Ber Soloveitchik Zatzal. Torah Umada seeks an agreement between Torah Judaism and the modern world, whether this means making Torah a part of our everyday lives, or connecting Torah and modern culture, or involving women fully, or simply emphasizing that Torah Jews must train for the workplace. Modern Orthodoxy is about religious Zionism, and the Rav was certainly a pioneer in connecting the Torah and the state of Israel. Rabbi Riskin also expressed modern Orthodoxy as something that's courageous. He quoted the dictum, Koach behetera hadifa, the power of lenient rulings is superior. He would tell me and my fellow students that for the truly religious person, it's always safe to be machmer, to be strict. But to gauge the people in modern life, it's crucial to make decisions that are halakhically bold and serve the community in the broadest possible sense. Here at Ner Tamid, we have our own way of defining modern Orthodoxy, and I think you'll agree it's the most expansive way of all. We always defined it as embracing Jews from every conceivable background. Our shul includes people whose families have attended for 2, 3, and 4 generations, yeshiva graduates, people who just want a place where Balei Batim notice that you're even there in the room and say hello on Shabbos morning, young couples with kids who want a relaxed, friendly shul, people who are searching for their faith and their heritage. We're a shul that studies together and also enjoys book groups, baseball games, movies, and activities that have the important purpose of giving our children a reason to enjoy going to shul on a regular basis. Fortunately for us, Rabbi Motzen's the perfect man for the job. He's been working for years in outreach both here and in DC, and that's given him valuable experience. He's at ease with a wide variety of people, no matter who they are and how they came to be here. And he communicates with everyone exceptionally well. He's a lamdan, a learned rabbi, but he doesn't jump the gun when making religious decisions. He's always willing to think, to take some extra time before he gives a halakhic opinion. Those of you who know him personally also know he's a very nice man. After they meet him, people come away enthusiastic about him. And perhaps most crucial for our future, he's demonstrated an ability to attract the next generation of shul goers to a synagogue that is destined to grow. Those of you who were with us for Kabbalah Shabbos this past Friday night can testify that the rabbi's clever idea of blending a Karbach-style davening with a kiddush featuring sushi made the service exciting, spiritual, and the place to be for young and old. To know how well he fits in at Ner Tamid, how he makes people at home, all you have to do is look at a nice little idea that he introduced. Asking newcomers on Shabbos morning to use a red cup at Kiddush so that he and our members can give them a Ner Tamid welcome. The idea was modest, it was innovative, and it showed warmth toward all those who come here to share a Shabbat and hear his excellent sermons. Rabbi Motzen, just as you extend a Ner Tamid welcome on Shabbat morning, I'm here tonight to give you a Ner Tamid welcome on behalf of all our members and all the people in this room. We're grateful that you are a spiritual leader, and we're very pleased to install you as our new rabbi. Thank you very much. And now, Rabbi Motzen, very briefly, I will hand you the certificates from the mayor and the governor. Thank you.
follow along in your program book, it's my, one of my yichus, my honor, is not the fancy Ivy League schools I may have attended, but I'm also able to say that I have had relatives who have studied at Ner Israel. And as you know, it really is a world-changing institution. It is an important institution to the life of Baltimore and this region. I probably don't have to tell people in this room the influence it's had on Jewish souls around the world, saving people from around the world. And I can just say from meeting Rabbi Motzen and other graduates, there's certainly a depth and warmth and breadth and intensity of learning there that is really something we should all be grateful for. And so I'm humbled to be able to introduce to you Rabbi Sheftiel Neuberger, President of Ner Israel, to address us.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Mr. List, the President of the congregation, Rabbi and Mrs. Motzen, your Rabbi Emeritus, Rabbi Chaim Landau, Rabbi Motzen's parents and in-laws, ladies and gentlemen. In this week's Parsha, we began, or yesterday's reading, we began to read about Moshe Rabbeinu and his ascendancy to become the leader of Klal Yisrael, the one to take us out of Egypt and bring us to Har Sinai to receive the Torah. And at his birth, the pasuk tells us, "Vaterek ki tofu." She saw that he was good. This phrase, ki tov, is an interesting phrase. In the beginning of the Torah, every facet of the Bria, of the creation, is described as Vayar Elokim ki tov. God saw that ki tov, that it was good. Yet at the end of creation, it says, Vayar Elokim es kol asher asah, Hashem saw everything that he made, v'hine tov ma'od. And behold, it was tov ma'od, very good. So Rabbeinu Bachya asks the question, what's the difference between the ki tov of every facet of the creation and the tov ma'od at the end? And he answers that each facet of the creation, until it interacts with every other part of creation, is only potentially good. And this phrase, ki tov, speaks to potential. Whereas the word ma'od at the end, that refers to the full completion and the entirety of the goodness of that which the Ribbono Shel Olam created. And that's why it says, Vayar Elokim es kol asher asah v'hinei tov ma'od. And he goes on to say, that's why the Torah says when Moshe Rabbeinu was born, Vaterek ki tovu. Chazal tell us that the entire house became full of light. What did she see in this baby? She saw potential. But then the Torah, when the Torah wants to describe Moshe Rabbeinu having fulfilled his mission that became the great person that he was, the Torah says, "V'ha'ish Moshe onov ma'od mikol ha'adam asher al pnei ha'adam." That Moshe Rabbeinu was the onov ma'od. That describes Moshe Rabbeinu. And the word onov, we generally translate as being humble.